always. That's always gonna be my answer.
Yes, yes. Man, I just want to say thank you for coming on here today. For those of you who do not know who Kwaku is, he is the founder of DJ 65. He is the only DJ, entrepreneur DJ, the one doing it big. And man, you are awesome. I just want to say thank you for coming on here today. Just
I
give people a
appreciate
little
it, bro.
bit
Thank you
about
so much.
yourself. Yeah, for sure. Just give people a little bit of background about yourself so they know who's here today before we go into the conversation.
Absolutely. So I'm a DJ, producer, and entrepreneur. I also do some commercial acting here in Kansas City, and I direct music videos and just video content in general. I got into the creative realm initially through videos. So I started doing that, and then after a couple of years, I realized that I had a lot of potential as a DJ,
Okay.
being one of the few guys that bring the international flavor to the KC market.
Yeah.
So past few years, I've been pushing my DJ brand, my DJing skills a lot harder, and building my clothing line and everything through that. And in the end of 2018, I went back home to Ghana, and I held an event for children for orphans, and
Okay.
it was a great turnout, very unexpected. It wasn't unexpected for me. They didn't expect it.
Yes. Wow.
Um, once we had that event, it was like boom. That was the light bulb moment for me, and I found my purpose. A couple months, not even a couple months. As soon as I got back, I set up a meeting with some people in town who I knew would be interested in the cause, and I was telling them about a couple name ideas I had, and Global Waves was one of the names I was sitting on.
Okay.
And because we're creating a global wave, it's a wave of energy,
Yes.
inspiration, and influence that's going to last forever. So we landed across the name Global Waves, and of the the 4 people I invited,
Okay.
Francis was the one that stuck, and we ended up being business partners together. And yeah, man, it's been an enjoyable ride, and I've
Yeah.
been able to use who I am not only as a DJ but as a human being
Yeah.
to influence change and positivity, especially among the youth that don't typically see these outlets, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Not
And
many DJs and guys from America just pull up on them and want to talk to them and connect. So that was how I really found that, hey, this is something I'm supposed to be doing. God put me here on purpose, and I've been
yes.
able to utilize my skills to create greater good.
Yeah. And I mean, I want to say this too, because back in the days, if someone said they were going to be a DJ, that's like, what? That's not going to work. But I've
Right.
seen you be able to transcend, being a DJ and an entrepreneur. And man, I think things have changed a lot. Like now
Tremendously.
being a DJ is a way bigger thing than it's not just playing records, but now you are
Right.
entrepreneur, influencing people and bringing positivity. So I love
Right.
that because I see you at many networking event, putting your foot out there, trying to network and get all ideas. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome, man. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I look at DJing as it's just a skill that I have.
yeah,
Over the big scale, like I'm obviously more than just a DJ. So DJing is just one of the things I bring to the table. It's just a way for me to play music for people. But my goal and my bigger purpose is, being a public speaker, a humanitarian, and things of that sort. But DJing is just an amazing, fun way that I connect with people and party with them at the same time.
yeah. And you are Ghanaian American, if I'm
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Now,
got it.
this this is awesome because I'm Nigerian. This is awesome conversation because I really want us to. We know what we've been seeing the news, everything going on, man. It's been bonkers. Since last week to this week, it's just been crazy of how the injustice done to George Floyd and how that has become this massive move that no one
Right.
expected. And I kind of say this all the time because 2020 it's been crazy. 2020, I'm telling you, it's been crazy.
There's been a lot of ups and downs, to say the least.
Wow,
I'm turning
I'm
it
telling
off
you.
real quick.
Because then I'm we just came out of COVID-19 and then this happened and it's like, boom, it's like people are risking their lives out there because they want justice. And that says a lot, And, from your perspective of things, what are you
Right.
seeing and what do you think?
I think for me the timing was a little crazy.
Yeah.
just because we're finally, the country's, it's been an interesting year in general for
Yeah.
everybody. It's been a lot of ups and downs, as I've mentioned. But I think the killing of George Floyd was kind of like the tipping point, and all hell broke loose, as we've seen. People who've had these emotions bottled up, and racism ain't nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Black folks been getting killed since way back when. Our
Yeah.
great grandparents. It's been going on. We've known this country's racist, but I think at this point people are just fed up, to the point where we have so many outlets these days to use our voices. So
Exactly.
with the social media movements that have been going on, um, typically, like let's say 10 years ago, or even during the Rodney King riots, people wouldn't have been able to, let's say Blackout Tuesday,
Mm.
or just different things like that. So I think it's a great time for people to step up and speak their truths. And I'm honestly praying for the safety of the American people,
Yeah.
especially the Black folks. We've been dealing with a lot of turmoil, as I've mentioned, but we now have a lot more support. You know, I
Exactly.
was at the plaza on Friday, and I've never seen that many white people frustrated, in support of us. So I
Yes.
think that says a lot, and I think we're making progress as a race, a human race. But
Mm-hmm.
there's just the small percentage of people who want to
Mm-hmm.
continue bringing us back. And I heard an analogy which was kind of it it was kind of similar, but they were talking about how um, society is becoming like a business.
Mm.
We make progress, we make progress. So in our business, we make money, we make money, we make money, right? And
Yes.
then you get hit with something, you lose money. You got to fire an employee, you take a step back. Just
Mm-hmm.
different things of that sort. So we're moving forward as a human race, moving forward, moving forward. But then someone wants to kill a Black person because they feel it right in their heart that I'm a racist. I see he's going for a run. Let's give me my son. Let's go kill him. Like, what is that? Can I cuss on here, or is this we're trying to keep it PG?
Oh, we're trying to keep it PG a little bit.
Okay, not a problem, not a problem, because I can go off on this topic, man. But yeah, essentially, there's a small percentage of people who want to continue bringing us back, bro, and that's the problem. Like, we've made so much progress, we have it so good here in America. People don't take it for granted, but people take it for granted until they get to a country like Ghana or Nigeria or any other country that may be less fortunate than the United States of America. It's only whenever they get outside of the country that they realize how fortunate they have it. But
Mm-hmm.
there's still those people who've been there been here their whole life. KKK, America, white pride, blah blah blah. These are the people that's going to continue bringing us back.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So that's my answer to that question, because I can go on a tangent, but I'm gonna try and
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man,
keep it moving.
like speaking about having, all races protesting is something that I think has not happened in this massive way before
I
because,
haven't seen it before.
and I've been saying it for a long time that our generation, the young people, is going to be able to fix this problem because we
Yeah.
are we are exposed to each other, right? It's no longer
Yes, sir.
watching the news. I see in the news Black people are bad, but now a lot of white people, a lot of Asian people have Black friends, and they know that we are human beings. It's no longer
We
what the news
are.
is about us, right? So I think that is the concept that's going out there to understand that you know
Correct.
not every stereotype is right.
Right.
So
No, I would agree with that.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I would just say I agree with that. We've become more and more widely accepted as a race in this country, and I think that's great. Our music is heard everywhere, and this isn't nothing new. Like, we've been the dominant athletes. Our music is heard everywhere. You constantly see us on TV and movies. Like, Black people are here. We're great. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna continue being great. We're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, like I keep saying, there's that small percentage that's like, no, they're threats, they're monkeys, they're hoodlums. These are the people that's going to continue bringing us back.
Because I mean,
So
all we're asking for is we humans, right? It's
we're humans.
equality, diversity, and it's
Exactly.
it's been a long time coming, and I don't know if you watched the George Floyd memorial service. the reverend that gave his speech gave a really outstanding speech. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it, because I actually I have a post on my page on Instagram and also on Facebook about that speech. And it's like, he literally dived in deeper into explaining that, it's been a long time coming. It's been 400 years in the making.
Right.
It's no longer something that has to be shushed. Like, you guys have it good, and it's like, but there's oppression in the system. But how can we fix it, right?
Oh, easily.
So it's digging deeper, and I think that's something that is coming out more now in the media, where there are two sides of a story. If the news says this, people have on ground saying, "Yo, the process are going on. We are peaceful, but this is what's actually going on." And I think that is a power that people have to use their platforms to promote the right thing.
Correct.
And I think another thing I wanted us to talk about is this. Being African, there's always this mindset that I'm African, but I'm not African American. So there are challenges does not concern us. And in some cases there's this. Again, I'm gonna refer to a video I was watching. A friend of mine sent me a video yesterday, and that video changed my mindset a lot. And for a lot of people who are religious, sorry, but I'm gonna go. So the guy literally was talking about the story of the Israelites in Egypt. How Joseph was sold to Egypt, right? And how he became a slave when he was sold. I don't know if you've heard of the story of Joseph. Joseph was sold into slavery to Egypt. And he was talking about how that story kind of connects with what we are seeing in Africans and African Americans, because literally African Americans are Africans who came from Africa, right?
Right.
And then they came here, and now fast forward to that same story. Remember when Joseph's siblings came back, he acted like he did not recognize them. He wanted to punish them more, right? He wanted to make them feel the pain that he felt. And I think that is what we see today, because honestly, there is some kind of, a lot of people will not say, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, because there is a disconnect mostly with Africans and African Americans in America.
Let's talk about it.
And that has been a challenge for a long time. And I think if we don't come together and see that, honestly, our forefathers who are in Africa probably sold their brothers and sisters into slavery. Now, that happened, and there's pain in there. And until we accept that our great grandparents did something wrong, and then African Americans are part of us, we have to do that divide. We have to come together, and see each other as one, So I don't know your mindset about that.
I haven't seen too much of I know at least in my social circle, I haven't seen too much of a disconnect between the Africans and African Americans. I have noticed that Africans tend to hang out together, and then African Americans tend to, mesh with everybody. But I do know that through these protests and people speaking out, everybody with dark complected skin is not happy about what's going on, and everybody's speaking their mind, which I love as well, because like I was saying, this is the most crucial time for us to use our voices. There's so many different, there's so much room for improvement, not only in America, but in the world. So I'm really thankful and happy to see everybody using their voices. I think now more than ever, we need more Black leaders, because that's going to be the difference we want to see. To be, because let's take me, for example, right? Let's say I go make $1 million in a year, and I pack my stuff and I go move off to like Miami, and I'm just mingling with Hispanics, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. I'm just minding my business, and I don't bring any of the knowledge or skills that I acquired, things I've learned over time, back to either my roots here in Kansas City or my roots back home. What good does it do? So we need more leaders. I think we have plenty of Black leaders, but we need more. That is the only way we'll be able to combat this injustice we continue to see. We need more leaders. We need more people who educate leaders. We need more people sharing knowledge that they have, because the next generation, those are the ones who we can pass the information down to. That way, whenever, let's say in 10 years from now, there's another shooting,
Mm.
or I mean, there's going to continue being black men being killed, innocent
Yeah.
black men. That's the country we live in.
Now,
But by having education, go ahead.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So, and honestly, like you said, we need leaders who, can use that
We need
platform
leadership.
to stand out.
That's without question.
Like, like I am proud of, Kevin Hart, Ludacris. They went to the funeral. Kanye West, saying that he's gonna pay for, I think, call it the George Floyd's daughter's college. And I
Okay.
think we need people to stand out and be, we stand for you in these times, and use their platforms.
Right.
Now, on the other end of things, because social media has a lot going on of people who say, when Kaepernick had knelt to protest, they said that was not a good protest. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the
Let's
protest
talk about it.
happening now, and they're saying that is not how to protest. There should be peace. We should be quiet. Now, what do you think? Should we protest, or should we just keep quiet and pray about it and just chill and hope that some change happens? Or what is your perspective on taking action? What is your way of taking action that would actually affect change?
That's a really good question, man. So I've heard multiple viewpoints that I agree with.
Okay.
So one of my good friends was saying, actually my best friend was saying, that a great way to protest would be like Kaepernick. We take a knee at the protest front line with the police, and we take a knee and just be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of power in that because it not only shows unity among different races, but it also shows like we're hurt, we're saddened.
Yes.
You know, we're not just gonna come at you with what you're expecting, violence, anger, this and that. We're gonna take a knee and we're gonna be quiet just so you can feel our pain with us. Because a lot of those police officers are fed up with what's happening too.
Yeah.
Not all cops are racist. There's cops that's hurting on the front lines for black people and just victims of police brutality. So that's one perspective I have. The other perspective I have is, and I even posted this on my Instagram I think like last week. We've been praying, marching, speaking, begging, pleading for equality for just centuries, man.
Yes.
So now I'm like, a part of me is like, you know what? We're making progress, but change the country's still racist. That's just that's not going anywhere. So if people want to attack the cops and come at them crazy, who's to stop them at this point? I don't agree with the looting of the businesses and breaking and blowing up cars and all that stuff. I don't agree with that. But the police are the number one regulated gang in the country. And what they're doing is not okay. So just like a basketball team, right? Someone is bad in class or whatever, the whole team has to run. If someone wants to be in whatever city in the country, right, and they want to kill somebody, the whole nation is going to suffer, as you can see. You know what I mean? You have to hold them all accountable.
Yes.
I don't think, and I was at the protest where I drew the line was, and what actually made me leave was the police held their ground all day, right? People were cussing at them, recording them, just all types of vulgar stuff was being said. And then once the night started to come, I think it was like around 9:30, somebody threw a water bottle at the police officer out in the distance. And that's when it was time for me to leave, because essentially that's when they can open up any type of defense that they want to. I'm like, if you're going to come protest and say what you have to say, but don't give them a reason to attack us.
Exactly.
So that's, there's no happy medium, because you could side with either one and say, this is okay. We take a knee and we be quiet and we continue, peacefully protesting, or we start tearing stuff up to get you guys' attention that we're sick of this.
Yeah. Wow. That story just told gives a whole perspective, being on the front lines of seeing protests happen and seeing how things can go wrong. Because again, there is two sides of people who are looting, people who are causing violence, and those people should be arrested and reprimanded for what they're doing. Because that is not what the protest is about. It's about,
That's not what the protest is about. Correct.
about fighting for justice. People shouldn't be out there spoiling other people's business,
Right.
And then,
And I'm a business owner myself. So like if I had an office in downtown and someone came and started breaking my windows, I wouldn't be happy about that. You know?
So that's something that I'm totally against, And at the same time, that doesn't mean that people should keep quiet for fighting for justice.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. We will never be silenced.
Because we've seen what has happened so far, with the protests going on. We have seen, the officer being charged from 3rd degree to 2nd degree, and the other 3 officers are being arrested. We haven't seen their charges yet, but there is incremental progress. But then I think
they should have been arrested from the jump.
That's the thing too. But if there was no protest, if there was no, people speaking out, it probably would have gone on.
They would have bypassed it. And the thing is, there's people that's getting killed every day that's not even getting recorded, or the news just barely talks about it. Like someone was killed here in Kansas City, I think they said February. It was an unarmed black man, and they're still yet to even release the cop's name.
Wow.
So if someone didn't record it and put it on the news, etc., nobody's gonna know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. Like it's the issue is an underlying racism. It's that simple. Because I'm sure you've seen videos of cops actually saying that we're instructed to target blacks and Latinos, etc. That's the problem.
I haven't watched the video yet. I haven't watched any video of that yet.
Yeah, I think I could share one with you, man. That's the problem right there.
So another thing that I watched lately that really got my attention was the doll test. Have you watched that video? The doll test.
The what test?
The doll test. The doll.
Doll test. Let's talk about it.
So basically, you can pull it up. But basically, they have a black doll and then a white doll, and they ask the kids to choose which doll is the good one and which one is the bad one.
What? Okay.
It was a test that happened, and it's like black kids said that the black dolls were bad and the white dolls were good.
Really?
Now, yeah, and even the white kids say the same thing. So
kids doll test.
And they asked the kids, like asked black kids, but that looks like you, and then they were confused. So I think again that there is some kind of another kind of mindset that goes into what we're going through. It's not just on the physical. It's not just on the physical of it. It's a mind thing that has been going on for a long time.
Correct.
Because if I'm not seen as a human being, anyone can treat me as an animal, and that is the whole point of what we're trying to say. That everyone is a human being. We are all equal. There is no bigger human being or lower human being.
Right.
If you're a human being, you're a human being, and that's just it. You know, there shouldn't be a question of whether you are human enough or not. So yeah, that's something that really caught my attention. And it really sparked. I was like, what is going on? That is just, and there's numerous things like that are happening under the scene. But I mean, my major focus is because I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews, just talking about just getting information, and I'm trying to understand what is going on, because I'm a newbie. I don't know a lot. I've been reading a lot, just seeing a lot lately. And honestly, before now, I was saying racism is not being seen anymore. It's just something that people.
Bro, it's not going anywhere.
It's here. It's happening. But then, if you do not educate yourself on what's going on and what has been going on, you say, they are just shouting, they are just jumping around, they're just looking for something to talk about. But the statistics show you that this is happening. It's been happening.
It's a system. It's a whole system. Like I'm in this mastermind group, right, with some buddies of mine.
Okay.
And we just, share knowledge that we've learned through our different careers and industries. We talk about faith, our fitness, everything like that. And I can't say verbatim what it was, but there's an entire system in place that keeps Black people below white people.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. It's economical. Part of it is job related, and I can't remember what else was touched, but what else we touched base on. But there's a whole system in place, and there's a lot that we don't even know about.
Yes.
So from the jury diversity, like it's primarily white. different counties across the country will have, like, let's say 2 Black potential jurors as opposed to 10 counterparts. So there's a bunch of different stuff that they do, and I'm sure you're familiar with the Plaza and the whole J.C. Nichols background.
The history of it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
man.
lot. There's a lot. It's just
this ain't nothing new, bro.
It's insane. I mean, you know, the funny thing is this: is I really started digging deeper into this since 2017. And honestly, I heard about the redlining in truce, and I couldn't believe the history behind that. And
Talk about it.
It's just crazy, like the truce, because a lot of people don't know this history, you know,
Nah,
because
a lot of people don't.
It's not taught in all schools. Like, it's just different classes that you go to, you hear about it, you know.
Right.
And when I read about that redlining of having a one side that is from truce, I think it's the east side of truce is a side that doesn't get, you know, funding and all that. That's where the violence happens. And I used to live on the east side of truce myself, and I saw for myself, like, I lived in the hood, like, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it's like, I see it every day, you know.
Right.
It's a scary thing that happens. And reading that history explained everything to me, because I was like, why is it so? Why is it that when you move over to the other side of truce, people are living good on that side, and then you come over to this side, and then people are suffering, and there's like a lot going on, and it's like
it's a complete different environment, and it's a couple blocks away.
Yeah, it's like literally you cross the road and you're a different world, and it's like,
yeah,
that shouldn't be the case though. Like, why is that the case? You know, and I mean, man,
because racist white people back in the day decided we want to divide people here, and we want to keep the rich over here and then the poor over here, and we want to keep it that way. We don't want to mingle them. We don't, even if you have money on this side, we don't want you over here. I heard I heard even back in you know, during the division of that, like in that time period, realtors wouldn't even show Black people like the nicer homes. You know, so it's, how do you know it's available if it's not shown to you, or if you don't?
Yeah,
you don't
it's not on the market.
Google and, you know, these websites where you can just get on homes.com and see what's available.
Yeah, wow. Now
next thing you know, you're living in the hood. You don't even know you're in the hood.
Yeah, man, there's a lot.
Terrible,
honestly, man, it's just a lot. But I want to say this too, because I want to appreciate people who are actually doing some work. You know, the Minneapolis mayor, I think his name is Frey. You know, these are the kind of leaders that we need. He's a white guy, but he actually is speaking out for what the injustice is, and he was also at Judge Floyd's memorial. And I also want to applaud. You know, I have a lot of white friends who have been out there, you know, protesting, people who have been speaking on social media, and this is what we need. We all need to unite. It's not a one race problem. It's a humanity race problem that we are facing. You know, and as young people who are going to have kids in the future, we are going to be the granddads in the future. And I think every young person who is out there today needs to stand for justice and stand for the right thing, because if you don't stand for it, that means the future is going to be the same way, you know, and it's not going to change. It's up to us to make sure that these things do not carry on, that we or have equality in the future, right?
Right. And this comes with, and I got you rolling on my Instagram right here as well. So, you know, we can share this message.
What's up, Instagram?
Yeah, so we can share this message with more people. It goes back to what kind of what we were saying a couple minutes ago, bro. Leaders is that simple. Quality leaders who are sharing knowledge, creating change. You know, so whether that be connect groups, whether that be like a youth mentorship program, it doesn't do much if those who are successful or deemed as successful and those that are wealthy leaders, if they're not doing anything to create change, it does us no good, man. And I think that's the root of it. So for me, using my voice and my platform till I die, like, that's what I'm all about. I'm not saying leave your handprint just to put it on a shirt. Like, this is what I'm about, bro. You know what I mean? So it takes more. And I never been a leader. I was telling my friends, like, I haven't been a leader my entire life until I started this, until I went to Ghana and had the Global Boys event.
Yes.
That's when it was like a mind shift for me. I was like, okay, damn, I got to really start stepping out and being who God created me and called me to be. as a
Mm-hmm.
leader.
Mm-hmm. And also, man, I just because I believe in God, and
Absolutely.
the church. I don't know what church you go to, but I go to Hillsong, Kansas City.
Me too.
And yes, awesome, yeah. And I'm really proud of Pastor Kyle, honestly, of how he has been outspoken about the whole injustice. And he
Hmm.
literally had a sermon. I don't know if you see the sermon series of how he interviewed. He had interviewed the superintendent, and they had a conversation about what's going on.
Kyle's amazing.
Yeah, and that is something that when I look back to, I'm like, okay, this is what leaders should be doing.
Hmm.
Being outspoken, not being silent about things that are happening. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Say it's wrong and act
Right.
towards it. Don't keep it under. Don't just undermine it. It's a problem that we are facing, and everyone needs to stand out. If you have a platform, use it.
Use it.
A
Hey, man,
post. A
that's how
post
we
going
make.
wrong.
That's how we make change.
Yeah, you can't. No one. If we stand and because another thing I want to say is this: if we stand and just pray and don't take action, it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Never.
The person that made a table did not make a table by sitting down and praying about it. He got up, he cut the trees down, and he made a table. We gotta
Absolutely.
cut the trees down, and we have to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Man, it's I think it's past time for just praying and believing and hoping and praying for peace. But it's time to take action because Jesus took action, right? Jesus literally, he went to the temple and he turned over the tables. I keep saying that because I know he turned over the table and say, yo, you guys are doing something wrong and I'm against it.
Yeah.
When the scribes and the Pharisees were using the law to abuse people, he told them to their face, yo, this is wrong and you guys need to stop it. And
Right.
I think that is where I stand when it comes to, religious organizations. They need to speak out. They need to
Amen.
use their platforms to say, we support you guys and we are praying for you guys because I'm praying every day, every morning. But
Amen.
action, as they say,
Action.
faith without works is dead, baby.
Right.
So
It's
yeah,
and it's like it's kind of like the knowledge metaphor as well. They say knowledge is power. No, knowledge there's power in the application of knowledge.
mm,
So what's the point of having your platform and being a leader? Like I was saying, if you're not backing it up or speaking out
yes.
and creating change, like we need to create change.
This is the thing too.
It's
This
that
is
simple.
something people are afraid of: controversy, right? They are afraid that their
People are
friends
people are,
are not gonna like them. The friends are gonna say something, but then people are dying on the streets. What about their families, though?
right.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm just gonna
Talk
be
to me.
honest and straight up with you. After the Arbery thing that happened to Arbery when he was jogging and got shot.
Uh-huh.
Every day when I run, I look behind me in front,
You
left
look
and right,
back, you see it, and that's
and
it's
I'm
terrible.
afraid. I'm afraid of for my life, and it's no joke. Like it's not like because I don't know. I want to get home, but at the same time, I have to be cautious about that. I can't live in fear, but at the same time, I have to be cautious about my environment.
You
That
have to.
shouldn't be a way for anyone to live. Everyone should be free to live a life with confidence and pursue their goals. You
Right.
know, and I'm not a person who is negative about things in life. I'm a person who pursues my goal and make sure I succeed in it. But then there are
Absolutely.
things that are underlying and are holding you down that won't let you get to where you want to go. We all need to get those barriers out. We need to
Right.
speak out, act, take action, and make justice happen. Basically, So that's kind of my stance. But yeah, man, this is I think this is the time, man. It's been 400 years plus that since slavery,
Terrible.
and
We've made progress, but there's still work to be done.
there's a lot of work to be done.
This is evidence of that. This is crystal clear evidence of that.
And I think this is something that I'm really proud of. People are getting educated about what's going on, and that is good.
Yeah.
Someone puts a post, and even if you don't like it, you read it, and it's stuck there because now you know
Absolutely.
that. And that's something that I want more people to start educating themselves on what's going on. It's education. It's not all about just saying whatever. Education is the main important goal of everything. You have to educate yourself on what's going on and see racism for what it is, basically.
Amen.
So, man,
let's talk about it. There's empowerment in education, man.
Yeah.
That's simple.
And you had a book up. I don't know what the book what the name of the book was, but that quote you gave me was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so when we jumped on here, whenever Z called me, I was opening up a book. Box just came in. Shout out to Amazon for still delivering. But this book's called Limitless, man. It's by Jim Quick, who's a brain coach, and he grew up with a learning impediment. So he was always known as the kid with like a broken brain. But he learned how to reverse it, and he's been a brain coach ever since. He's worked with, I mean, all the successful celebrities and actors you could think of. Will Smith. He's got a ton of people listed on the back of here, like other doctors.
Yeah.
And this book is basically a guide to upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unlock your exceptional life. So we keep going back to leadership, but me being a leader, how can I be a leader if like I'm not continuously seeking education and bettering myself? That way I can pour into the next generation. So, I have to do things like read books like this so I can get to that next level, keep getting better. I can't just be where I'm at and make the change that I'm expecting to make in my lifetime. I know what my purpose is, and I know what I was called to. So to get there, I had to continue pushing and bettering myself, which all leaders across the world need to continue doing. That is the only way we'll be able to defeat the people who want to bring us back as a society.
Yeah, I mean, and they say, leaders are readers, right?
Amen to that.
You have to read, right? You have to. The solution you're seeking is in a book somewhere, and if you don't crack that book open, you wouldn't know.
You won't know. It's on the book. It's on the internet, or I mean, the internet can be a little faulty, but there's a lot of great resources on there. Like, there's no excuse these days, man. There's so many resources. Like, get on Google and type something that's gonna help you get better or improve in your life. And just people. The problem is some people will just read, but they won't apply. Some people will just, I got a book of my visions, this and that. I got these goals. I want to do this and that. But what's the work that you're doing? Like even me and you talking right now, we talk about we want change, we need change, but what are we doing about that?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So, and it's not throwing shade or anything to people who are doing these things, saying I want to do this, I want to do that, but it's just it's an accountability check.
Exactly.
Let me put it that way. And I know for me personally, to inspire the change that I want to do or that I want to create through this justice that we need as a country for Black people. I'm working on something. I don't have all the details in place to talk about it too much, but just know that it's once it's up and running, you'll see the vision crystal clear, and we will definitely be sparking change across the country.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. I'm always working on something. This is gonna be it.
Yeah. So, and I mean, man, I'm proud of what you're doing, man, because what you build up today is gonna be something that's gonna feed you tomorrow. You're gonna be
Amen.
One of the top leaders because you are building yourself up. So, I'm proud of that. I'm proud to move. And man, this is awesome, man. Man, again, thank you for coming on. Here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Absolutely.
Because it's something that's needed. It needs to happen. It needs to continue happening. So that it's not something that people put a blind eye to, right? So, yeah. What is one last thing you want to say to the people out there? What do you want to say to them as we close?
I think the biggest takeaway for me would be this life and our time here. It's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Big Sean has a song called "Bigger Than Me," and the lyrics hit home every single time, because once you put in perspective just how short our life is, we're literally just a blimp in reality. Average person lives 70 to 80 years. That's a blimp in reality as far as time. So whatever you're doing or whatever you put your mind to, make sure you're focused on a purpose that's bigger than you, because the world's going to continue going on without you.
Exactly.
So give yourself to this world while you're here. Become the best leader you can be. Become the best person you can be. I keep going back to the handprint, leaving handprint. Like, my handprint will be here even after I'm dead. Today is 6/5 day, June 5th, 6/5. Wow. So that's been like a little mini. It's been like a little mini holiday for me this past couple years since I've been branding that handprint. But it's every day people typically show a lot of love to me on this day, and they'll show pictures with their handprint, and that's powerful to me, because I'm reaching a lot of these people I ain't even met in person.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, thankfully to the Lord and technology, we have platforms like social media where we can connect with people across the world. And my goal is to connect with as many people as possible while I'm here. Continue leaving that handprint, baby.
Yes, that's awesome, man. That is great,
Feel me?
man.
Yes,
I
sir.
think you said it all. You know, I always ask people, you know, at the end of your life, what are you gonna leave for other people? What is your legacy? What are you gonna
What's your legacy look like?
yeah, what are you gonna live for people who are gonna come after you? Are you gonna live a life that they're gonna be that's not gonna be useful to them? You know,
Right.
they're gonna take from you and say, because of this guy, I'm here today. Because of what that guy did 10 years ago, I am where I am today. And
Amen,
that's
bro.
what it should be about, you know.
Yeah.
And I think there's a
And shout out to you too, man, for doing this. Like I've been watching your podcast over time, bro. I see what you're trying to do. You know, not only educating, inspiring, but just like you're spreading a good message and spreading messages that people need to hear.
Yes.
Because putting a good podcast together and all these things, it takes a lot of time. Trust me, I know it takes a lot of effort. You don't see much money from the beginning or anything like that. So I can tell this is a passion thing for you. FiredUp podcast has my full support, bro, and I love the way man. I love that you're using this to connect with people and educate, man.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't do it, who's gonna do it? And that's my belief. That's what I believe in. You know, if I don't do it, no one is gonna do it. So
if not me, then who?
Yeah, and that's how I roll. You know, and man, anytime I'm always on I don't just use my platform just to I talk about entrepreneurship leadership, but when issues like this come up, it's either I step for it and address it, or I haze it over. And I care about my community, and I'm not doing what I'm building is not just for myself. I'm doing something that everyone's gonna be able to reap from. So if I do not talk about these things, what is the use of having a platform, right?
Come on, man.
I can delete it and just leave it because I'm not being useful to anyone. I'm just like on my page, you can barely see me post a picture because I don't really have a lot of pictures on my page. I always post content because my platform is to help other people grow. Like if I don't use it for something positive, it's no need.
What are you using it for?
You know, so
just to look cool.
Again, thank you for coming up here, man. And thank you
for
absolutely,
brother.
You know, coming to speak out and being able to talk with me, because a lot of people are scared of doing what we do. But again, you can't live life in fear, man. You got one life to live. You know,
got one life to live, man. Go 110%.
So thank you again. We're gonna sign out, but yeah, this has been an awesome conversation. We educated a lot of people, and people have been educated, and that's all I do. I educate people, inspire people, and if you want to take it with you. If you don't want to take it with you, it's okay. But I told you something, right? So, man, Kwaku, thank you for coming on 6'5", baby. You know,
handprint.
Gotta live that handprint, man. Yeah, man. Thank you. And we keep in contact. You never know, something else might come up.
Bro.
We get it rolling. But again, thank you again. Also, where can people find you on social media, your platforms, so they can know how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so at DJ65, it's spelled DJ SIX and the number 5 IVE. And on this page, you can find my businesses, the Global Waves and Global Waves Foundation. We're doing a lot of great things, man. Kind of on a halt right now due to the virus, but once things get open back up, we still have a lot of more impact and fun events to host. So be on the lookout for Global Waves, baby.
Let's go. All right, man. Have a great day, and keep pushing and stay positive and keep working, baby. We're gonna make it happen,
brother. Yes, sir. Stay blessed.
All right, baby.